General 3. General requirements. Responsibility. Each activity accomplished with the work in accordance with the document should be determined with the provision, reference, specifications, consent that apply with the work being formed. Engineer drawing. The drawing should be indicated essential for fabrication details. While the joint should be identified with the symbol of the accordance with the AWS 2.4 and joint design selection in accordance with the Section 9. Non-destructive tab of the weld joint should be identified with the symbol of the accordance with the AWS 2.4 except for the single spine. Symbol of PT may be used in lieu of the dry penetration or the fluorescent penetration test. Reference of this document drawing shall carry out non-stating of the welding inspection in accordance with the document the give of the applicable welding class, except with the drawing shall label the components which within inspection requirement to cover within section 14 and 15. 3.3. Nomenclature definition. When welding nomenclature definition for the preparation of the drawing, welding procedure specification corresponds related with the welding in accordance with the AWF 3.0. Definition of the following definitions are applicable to the document. Activity refers to all states of the organization owner of the same quality assurance management with the use of the same quality assurance plan and performing work to the what the document is available to prove. The proof of the refers to the item under the consideration of the Navy Systems Systems Command and authorized representative of the arc strike. An arc strike is the inverted heat of the affected zone with the chamber, the contour of the finished weld with the base weld metal resulting from the arc at a heat generated with the passing electronic current between the strip of the finished weld with the base metal with the current source of the welding electrode or magnetic particle production. Authorized representative, the authorized representative, any of the government representative specifically authorized to approve of the equipment, the material, the procedure, the scope of the document, the Navy SEAL System Command, Navy Sea System Command, and the files for government shipyard with the delegated representative of the shipyard commander, the commercial shipyard, the delegated representative of the supervisor, shipbuilding conversion repair, and the American Bureau of Shipping specified with the specifications, particularly with the ship that include all applicable to the area of the shipyard with the applicable to the items furnished for the shipyard by the subcontractors. The government purchase item other than government shipping. Here is delegated representative of the commanding officer of the Navy Ship System of the Engineering Station, the Philadelphia, the delegated in A, B, and C of the above of the representative of the Department of Defense Contracting Administration Services Management Area, technical representative specified with the authorized Navy Sea System Command, diving life, the support piping of the support system, traveling life support with the piping system, the piping system for the breathing gas for the delivery and exhaust for the divers, dissimilar metal welds, the weld between two metal with a difference sufficient with the metallurgic physical property with required with a special consideration welding qualification inspection weld may be either the direct joining of the dissimilar metals or use of the weld to buy with the buttering or considering dissimilar metal weld. Essential elements. Essential element is defined as essential elements specified in the military standard 240 and fabrication weld that are required to fabricate with the weldment of the weld system. The weld include the design weld, the joints weld builds up the overlay cladding of the corrosion resistant, hard facing of the wear resistant, and weld deposit buttering. Government inspector. Government inspector with the government official who is charged with the responsible for the assurance of the metal materials and process of the fabrication techniques, inspection, testing. Personnel must be certification contract requirements in regard to the authorized representative of the found who delegated with the authorized representative of the DCASMA, inspector, force flow, squadron commander, his delegated representative of the Navy, the repair facility, the commanding officer for his delegated representative. Lethal fluids. Lethal fluids are poisonous gas liquids such as the nature of the very small of the gas, the vapor, liquid mix of the unmixed with the air, with the dangerous to human life, with the inhale, with the purpose of the piping, so the classification lethal includes substance of the nature of the stored, under the pressure of the may generate the pressure of the stored with the closed vessel, such of the substance of the hydrosonic acid, carbonyl chloride, cyanogen chloride gas, XYLL bromide for piping system classification. Purpose of the document: ammonia and chlorofluorocarbon refrigerants, natural manufactured gas, or liquid petroleum gases such as propane, butter, and the butadiene vapors of the other petroleum products not classified in lethal substance. Organizational inspector. The organizational inspector shall be the inspector for the contract name for the shipyard government agency, have been authorized the organization inspection, except for the project material of the workmanship of the witness, test the validated test data. Parts of the visual inspector can produce the personnel. Pressure containing. The pressure containing shall refer to the air with the component with which to prevent the contained liquid gas of the escape. The procedure qualification while looking proceed the qualification as acts when the test was assembly but prepared with accordance with the proposed procedure evaluated either by destructive, non-destructive test or both qualified with the term qualified meaning the item under the consideration had been approved required for the document. Seal welds. The seal welds are welded provided with the fluid containment function only, as enclosure with the strength provided with the separate device. The definition does not apply with the boiler, economizer, or superheater to heater seal welds. Tube heater to seal welds. Tube heater to seal welds. Welds are various types of boiler tube with respect to the header of the drum, such as the economizer headers, the superheater headers, and so forth. The welders. These welds location in the interior of the heater of the drum, integrity of the tube heater connection with the provided with a combination of the welding rolling of the tube heater seal. Welds should be performed in accordance with the Navy C 0951 LP 031 8010 in addition to the requirements specified herein. Weld deposited buttering. Weld deposited buttering is weld the metal deposit of the base metal with the tube of the complete with the weld to permit the final portion with the dissimilar metal was complete with a similar metal weld. Weld deposit overlaying cladding. Weld deposit overlaying cladding is the welded metal with the deposit for the purpose of the corrosion protection only. Weld deposit hard surfacing. Weld depositing hard surfacing is the weld that is must deposit for the purpose of providing wear resistance. Welding fabrication over the weldment. Welding fabrication or weldment is an only one as any assembly where the component parts are joined by the welding procedure. Welding procedure with the written instruction designed for the use of the production welding and repair welding, delineating all of the essential elements guiding for the product whose acceptable welds. Straw colors. Straw colors occurring with a titanium weld with a slightly containing with a hue range of the pale yellow through brass. Classification. The following classification are applicable to document. Machinery M1. Class M1 include the weld of the moving parts of the gears, rotor, the impeller with the shafting exclusion, except for propulsion shafting of the rudder and staff with the transmit with the torque and thrust of the welding, propulsion shafting, rubber staff with the tail conform with the military standard 2191. Machinery class 2. Machinery class 2 includes weld with the stationary non-pressurized assembly with the structure for the sub-base for the turbines, engine, and motors and pumps. At these subclasses shall be further categorized and critical with the conform with the following. A category safety munition of the ship. Includes machinery falling apart with the directly supported with the watertight integrity machinery failure, which could cause the loss of ship control, propulsion, weight, handling, equipment, mission with the mission essential for the mission to help the mission of the ship to touch with the weapon, the fire control system, navigation, communication system, major auxiliary support ship of the category B, normal operation ship of the machinery essential for the normal operation ship of the category C with the non-essential items that include parts of the component categories A and B having the welded joint that do not transmit with a particular principal operating, loading, and support any type of the pressure boundary. Piping Class P. Classing pipe P piping includes all piping, the tubing, the fitting for the convey fluids of the Class 1, P1, P2, and PLT apply with the welding system. Class P3 apply with the braid system. Class P1 include the fabrication welds of the design pressure for the extending of 300 pounds per square inch, the design temperature exceeding 600 degrees Fahrenheit, or both a steam line with hydraulic system, boiler, generator, tube, superheater, economizer, elements of the pressure of the retaining tube of the piping, excluding nozzle root connection, pressure vessels which are covered under the appropriate classification, all piping system, the conveying of the oxygen, gasoline, and lethal gas for liquid, regardless of the pressure temperature. This is classified as fabrication welds. This also includes fabrication welds in the piping system which transmit oxygen, helium, mixed gases to the air, water for the exhaust of the diving life support system. Also includes any of the structural weld made internal, external surface of fluid boundary subject to the system pressure which do not form the part of the fluid boundary. Includes any of the weld made with the weld deposit made pad cladding of the fluid boundary as well with the weld with the deposit of the pad cladding beneath the weld itself. It does not include the cladding of the other cladding beneath the weld. It does not nor does it include welds which joint clips, nameplates, insulation support with the other non-structural member of the fluid boundary. Specifically excluded are pipe joints meeting the classification criteria to PLT. Class Piping 2. Class Piping 2 includes fabrication weld with the design pressure, design temperature not exceeding 300 pounds per inch and 650 degrees. Also includes fabrication weld with the open end of the vent with the drain, extreme escaping the piping that has no isolation capability with the origin and terminus regardless for the design temperature of the pressure. Specifically excluded are pipe joints made with the classification criteria PLT. The class piping limited includes fabrication of the welds of all piping with design pressure greater than 50 pounds and inches squared, serve the temperature of the minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit and below. Class Piping 3, piping includes all brazed piping on unlimited pressure of the 425 degrees maximum design temperature for application inspection. Brazed piping shall be in conform with the Navsea 0900 LP 001 7000. Pressure vessel and tank Class A. Class A pressure valve with the tanks include with the fabrication welds of the part with the drum of the tanks go with the receptacle with include with the nozzle attachments and with which are designed to contain gas and liquid that include all feed tank lubricating oil storage tanks similar vessel which only static head with obtained liquid if it does include with the tubing of the piping that joins of the pressure vessel with subject requirements. Class Pipe P piping with the valve with the install with the Class P1 piping shall be fabricated and inspected in accordance with the Class A2 pressure vessels requirement of valves installed in other classes of the piping system shall be fabricated and inspected in accordance with the appropriate pressure vessel category determining the design temperature and pressure. Class AF. AF includes fabrication well-fired unified pressure vessels, all pressure temperatures that are specifically designed for finite fatigue life that is of the consequently required for the undergo life cycle. Low cycle fatigue evaluation also include any structural weld made with an internal external surface of fluid boundary subject to the system pressure, but which is not part of the fluid boundary. That's included the weld made with the weld deposit pad cladding on fluid boundary as well with the weld deposit of the clad beneath the weld itself. It doesn't include the cladding other than cladding beneath the weld. Does it include welds a joint clip name, the name plates, installation support with another non-structural members of the fluid boundaries, examples of the pressure vessel in the classes are all submerged pressure, seawater cold, submarine heat exchange with the cap fill steam receivers. Alright, Class A1 includes fabrication well with a fire pressure vessel, drum head of the rich steam of the generator of the application heating resulting from combustion of fuel. It includes a steam economizer, superheater headers, specifically suited to well. The pressure are the wells of pressure vessels meeting the classification criteria A2, A3, A4, and A limited. A2 consists of the fabrication well with the on-fire pressure vessel with the design with the pressure for the design temperature of 400 pounds a square inch to the 650 degrees respectively, liquid at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, or lethal gas liquid at any temperature pressure for the class A2 with the include with the valve with the install of the class B1 piping is specifically air excluded the well with the pressure of the vessel meeting classification criteria A3 and A4 for the A limited. Class A3 consists of the fabrication well of unfired pressure vessel with the design pressure, the design temperature not exceeding 400 pounds a square inch and 650 degrees Fahrenheit, specifically excluded are well with the pressure valve meeting the classification criteria for the A4 and A limited. Class A4 consists of the fabrication well with the unfired pressure vessel with the design pressure for the design temperature not exceeding 150 pounds per square inch at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Who tank subject only the static heavy liquid contained specifically excluded are well with the pressure vessels meeting the classification criteria of the AL. T. Classification A limited to consider the fabrication well of the pressure vessel with design pressure greater than 550 pounds per square inch, served with a temperature of the minus 220 degrees Fahrenheit and below. Steam turbine Class T. Class T term steam turbines consist of the fabrication well of the steam turbine component with the parts, accepting the piping listed in Table 21. Steam turbines consist of the components subject to the service condition varying with a high pressure. The vacuum Class T is broken down as follows. Class T1 consists of the fabrication well subject to the operating pressure of 300 pounds per square inch greater. Class 2 consists of the fabrication well subject to less than 300 pounds an inch. Fabrication well of structural members. Class 4 Quality Assurance Qualification Provisions. Testing. 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 Testing.